this knee has to be on the ground, just because if she was lying like this, she would just roll back, and then it would be not the helmet. All right, next up, the helmet removal. First of all, when do we have to take the helmet off, and when does it stay on?
So if the person is bleeding, you see it here. If it's coming from the head, then we have to remove it. Anyways, we have to remove the helmet, because or else we wouldn't be able to do the recovery position.
So always
Always.
take the helmet off.
Yeah.
You all agree?
When he has or
Why not?
Unless he has some injury now.
Yeah.
When
it's a serious injury.
Better
to not
The only reason the helmet stays on is if they are conscious. They can talk to us, they can tell us if they want it off or on. If they are conscious, we don't have to remove the helmet.
Okay.
But the problem with the helmet is, this one for example, there is without the nose. We can't really check if they are breathing, and even if we see that they are breathing heavily while they are unconscious, we can't put them in the recovery position with the helmet. So if the person is unconscious, the helmet must be removed at all times. There often is concern about spinal injury or something like that. The good thing is if we do it properly, the helmet removal, and as long as the head is only moved up and down, then there is no risk, or nearly no risk, of a spinal injury. The problem with the spinal injury is if you move the head to the sides or like this, and we don't do it while we're doing the helmet removal.
Sorry,
Yeah.
that's one question. When they're conscious, do we ask them, do you want to get it removed, or we just let it keep?
Well, you can talk to them and maybe they tell you take it off, or they can take it off by themselves. Yeah, you can still ask them, but you don't have to if they are conscious. Even if we cause a spinal injury and they are paralyzed, that's not our problem. It sounds mean to say that's not our problem, but we treat first what kills first. So the main problem is they would suffocate, so we prevent suffocation by taking off the helmet, and yeah, that's the thing. If we put the helmet on and they suffocate, they might not have a spinal injury, but they are dead. So maybe they are paralyzed, but they are still alive. So that's why we take the helmet off. Yes.
In case if they are unconscious and we see that it's badly broken helmet, there are chances that the head is injured already. Shall we still remove the helmet?
Yes. Because it won't just happen that as soon as you take off the helmet, it falls apart, the head. It could be that it's injured, but you can only treat the injuries if you take off the helmet.
Okay. So in any case, if it's if the person is unconscious, we remove it.
Yes. If the person is unconscious, the helmet must be removed. How we do it? We'll do with I'll show you with the dummies, and I'll put the face on first, because they don't look really nice like this. Okay. So let's say he's lying there. He's got no arms and legs, but that's not his problem right now. Like this, we can't check if he's conscious, if he's breathing. So what do? There's two methods to take off the helmet. It only depends on if you're alone or if there's two persons. If you're alone, you approach him and you put your knees next to him, so you can hold the helmet in place like this, so it won't fall to the side, because that's when the spinal injury will happen.
Okay.
Then we open the visor and ask them, hello, can you hear me? We can also shake the shoulders, but preferably only up and down and not to the sides, because of the spine again. So we see he's unconscious, and then we have to take the helmet off. How do we do this? First of all, we have to open it. There is this red leash. At most helmets, red means open. Just pull it away from the helmet, and then you can move this here freely and open the helmet. Now, I take these leashes on the side. I can pull the helmet apart a little bit, so it widens. Normally, the helmets have stuff there that presses against the cheeks, so the helmet doesn't wobble while you're driving. Most modern helmets, you can take them off in emergencies, you can take them out. They also have a leash to pull them out. But with older helmets, that isn't possible, so you have to pull the helmet apart a little bit so it widens, so it's easier. This one has no pulsers in it because I think they got stolen sometime. Yeah. So we pull the helmet apart, and then I can just pull off the helmet. Why don't I pull it straight off completely? Because this head would just hit the floor. So I pull it off halfway, then I place one hand under the head, and with the other hand I can take off the helmet, and now place his head on the floor, and now I can check for breathing normally. Yeah, with these things you can really just pull as hard as you want. They won't rip. They are built for that. Yeah. Also be careful with this bottom side of the helmet to not get on his nose. It can be that you break the nose or even rip it off. It's not life-threatening, but it's also not nice to look at. And it has to be put back together after that. So it's not life-threatening, but we try to avoid it anyway. Yeah. Persons, I need another volunteer here who helps me with it. Don't worry, you don't really have to do anything. I will tell you step by step how to do it, and it's a lot easier than doing it alone. One person sitting at the top of the head and one is on the side. What do you want?
I can stay.
Okay. Then the person sitting at the top kneels down and just holds the helmet in place with his hands so it doesn't fall to the sides. And then you open the visor with this knob right here, so it's easier. And just ask him if he's checked for consciousness.
Are you conscious?
No, it's not. It doesn't look like it. So now you open the helmet. Put it down, away from the helmet. Just down. Yes. And then I take the helmet like this, and you just open